not go. One, they don't like me. And two, I don't like them. So the mother thought about it, and she says, all right, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you will go. Number one, you're 47 years old. Number two, you're the pastor of the church. So the Lord has given you that task of authority or that position of authority, you better take on that task that is at hand. Amen. I want to start our series tonight on ways to be a better friend. Or I'm calling this message good versus great. Because the question I want you to ask yourself as we go through this series is, what kind of friend do you want to be in life? Do you want to be a good friend, or do you want to be a great friend? And I'll go over later on in this series what I mean by that. So let me ask you this question. How often do you find yourself wishing that you have more friends in life? Maybe you're the kind of person that has a lot of friends. If you notice in those public high school settings like Glee or the movie Grease, you always see the most popular person or the most popular couple or athlete or whoever's popular, and you see all this swarm of people surrounding. The first thing that comes to my mind is, do they really know each and every single person in that whole student body? Do they know them? First thing that comes to my head is no. They're just there for the attention. I like to call it the COA. They want to be the center of attention of everything they do. Maybe you're the kind of person that has a lot of friends, so let me ask you this. How often do you wish that you had a better relationship with those friends? You see, there's this old saying, to have friends, you have to be a friend. It doesn't say to have friends, then Billy Bob over there needs to be a better friend. It doesn't say to have friends, then a certain group over here needs to be a better friend. It says that you have to be a better friend. This includes me too, okay? This includes me, but you have to be a better friend. See, the Bible agrees with this proverb. Well, how do I know that? I'm going to show you 5 ways in this series. I'm going to show you 5 ways to be a good friend or a great friend. The first way is to treat each other the way you want to be treated. Sounds simple, but it's not. It's not that simple. See, in Matthew chapter 5, verse number 44, it says that we need to love our enemies and pray for those who persecute against you. But here's where people get so fixated. They focus on a particular phrase in that particular verse. As soon as they read, we need to love our enemies, they forget the rest of the whole verse. So is the Lord trying to say that we need to love our enemies even though somebody punched me in the face a few years ago? You better believe it. Is the Lord trying to say that I need to love my enemy even though that this person slashed the tires in my car a couple hours back? You better believe it. But we also need to pray for those who persecute against you. Basically the world and everything in it. In Luke chapter 6, verse number 31, it says to do unto others as you would have them do to you. Or the New American Standard Version says to treat each other the way you want to be treated. Or in other words, respect one another. Respect one another. So if you want other people to be nice to you, then you have got to be nice to other people. Okay? Otherwise, if you're going to show up very grouchy, people are going to be grouchy back at you. They're going to be like, well, what's your problem? I don't know what my problem is. I'm only grouchy because you're grouchy. Respect one another. This verse is known as the golden rule. Do to others as you would have them do to you. The second way, hanging with each other while going through tough times. And there is no doubt in my mind that as we progress in this source of life, we are going to go through tough stuff. We're going to have good things and we're going to have bad things. How many of you remember the product, the Snuggie? basically the blanket with sleeves. A 4-year-old could have invented that. A blanket with sleeves? Come on. Well, I remember when it was really, really popular back in the late 2000s. It was so popular, sales were rocking high. But then a new product comes along, and that previous product slowly dies off. It's a circle of life. Things come and things go. People come and people go. It's basically the roller coaster effect. You see this really popular product, and then you don't see it anymore. Just like people. We see people live out their life. But then when they go to be with the Lord, that person's no longer here. You see, absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Now, the first person I think of when I hear of this is Job. See, Job went through a lot of stuff. Those of you who don't know who Job is, Job was basically the Bill Gates of that time. He had everything you could think of. In Job chapter 19, verses 13 to 21, it talked about how Job lost it all. It talked about how he lost his livestock, how he lost his family, you name it, it's there. Job says in the text that God has struck me. Don't we feel like that sometimes? When we're in a particular situation, don't we feel like the Lord has struck us down? But really, I learned from that same teacher. He says that the Lord is only looking out for you. When your plans or your expectations don't meet up, it's because God has something that is in your best interest. We hear our parents say, well, we want to do what's best for our kids. You've heard parents say that all the time. The Lord is like that with us. God is like that with us. He wants to do what is best for us. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? I need you to keep it and stick it with you. But what about his friends? What about Job's friends? Because we're talking about friendship, so where do his friends come into play? Well, in Job chapter 2, verses 11 through 13, it talked about his friends. The text said that they had dropped everything that they were doing, went to be with Job. And the text says that they took off their garments and they sat in ashes. And back then it was to signify that they were mourning. They were grieving. Okay? Your friends have stood by you. Okay? Your friends stood by you. Now how about you stand by them? If one of your friends, relatives had, I hate to say passed away, but gone to be with the Lord. If one of your friends, relatives had gone to be with the Lord, you show up at their funeral and support that friend, it's going to make their day. Trust me, it's going to make their day. You know that saying, actions speak louder than words? This applies. The text says that they didn't even say a word to Job. They didn't even say a word to him. But they were hanging with him. They were hanging with him while he was going through tough stuff. If one of your friends is going through tough stuff, I'm not sure if you can say something to them like, oh, I'll be praying for you or whatever. You don't even have to say a word. You can show up with them at their friend's relative's funeral. You can show up and still support. That's going to make their day. Trust me, it will make their day. Okay? The last point tonight, and then we'll continue on with this series next week. The third way is to speak words that resolve conflict and bring healing. See, we watch the news and the media gets things twisted all the time. When a certain politician says this, they twist it around like, oh my goodness, he's referring to blah, blah, blah. We see that all the time. We see so many things on the news that people don't even resolve anything. They just make it worse. They make it worse. Whether it's a small disagreement like whether it's the presidential debate or whatever, if there's a small disagreement or if there's something bigger like a riot, they don't even resolve anything. Okay? They keep it going. They put, fire. They keep pouring gasoline on a fire, and it's not going to go anywhere. Like I said, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. When you go camping, you make a fire, right? To roast marshmallows, for you to have s'mores. Okay, and it's time for you to go to bed. Don't leave the fire on, because next thing you know, that fire is going to spread, and next thing you know, the Yosemite National Park is going to burn down. Why? Because you kept the fire on. That's like us. We speak words that don't resolve anything. It just keeps going. It just makes it worse. Okay? We need to speak words. We need to speak words that resolve. And we bring joy. We bring healing to them. What does the Bible say? The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 12, verse number 18, it says that reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. So whatever kind of conflict you're in with your friends, just end it. Let me tell you a quick story, and then we'll close. Me and my best friend, we were in 8th grade together. He had a locker combination. I walk by his locker every day, not even knowing his combination, okay? And he asked me one day, do you know my locker combination? I've studied it, maybe. And I said, yes, I know your locker combination. He told me what it was. And so I told him. And he got so frustrated with me. We didn't speak for like the next 3 days. And I was praying, I was saying, Lord, I pray that we resolve this, because it's not worth losing a friendship over something little like this. A few days later, he came and sat by me and he said to me, can you forgive me for my actions? And I said, of course I do. And we're still best friends even today. See, even though he was frustrated, he spoke words that resolved that conflict and brought healing to that friendship. Because it's not worth losing a friendship over something so little. It's not worth it. Is it worth it? No. I'll close with this. I'll reiterate this the next time I film this. Friendship is a lot like a construction. How do you explain all those buildings in downtown Tampa or over in San Francisco or wherever? You see all these magnificent buildings, right? Well, of course it has to be constructed. That's the way friendship is. We first lay a foundation. And as we continue to know that person, that's your building of friendship. Okay? But, sometimes we go through rough patches. There's going to be holes in the window. There's going to be, all kinds of stuff. But yet, those construction workers don't stop working on it. That's what we should do. That's the kind of friend that we need to be. We need to be a great friend. And I reiterate that the next time I do this. So next week is part 2 of good versus great. Okay? And I'll reiterate this about the construction of friendship. Okay? So hopefully you can all learn something from this. And learn what it means to be a better friend in life.